Hey everybody, I'm Jacob Castro and welcome to another live show here on Jacob's Aquarium. So today this live show is kind of exciting because it is going to be the first show where I'm going to be able to take calls. What just happened? Oh, we got a red image. Uh-oh. We'll figure that out later. I was just going to put some text on the screen that shows the number that you can call if you would like to call into the show. And have to adjust my audio because so this show now I can finally take calls, so it's kind of exciting because I can talk one-on-one with you guys. I was able to do that in the past, but only through Skype, and not a lot of people use Skype. They just wanted to call a number, so we really didn't get a lot of calls. But now I can take real calls like a real radio show. It's kind of cool. So I'm hoping everything will work this time because I did a show last night, a really late show. It was a show that went till midnight, and the software I used recorded all the video, but no audio. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just download the file from YouTube, because YouTube automatically uploads the live stream after that. Okay, no big deal. I did that, and that wouldn't import into my editing system. So I tried converting it, and I guess I figured out that somehow, like 30 minutes into the stream, it just stopped recording audio. So it was a whole, mess, the first show that I tried to do with this new software and taking calls and stuff. It just did not work at all. So I'm hoping that this one works so that I can upload the show afterwards to the YouTube channel, so anybody that misses the live shows can watch the pre-recorded version. I did several tests, and it seems like everything is fine. I'm just hoping it stays that way. So welcome everybody to another live show here on Jacob's Aquarium. It's great to be here. Great to do another live show. I love doing these shows. They're so much fun talking to you guys and stuff, and hearing everything that you guys have to say. We got our first person in the chat room, Matt M. What does TSS mean? I don't know what that means. So let's go ahead and figure out that problem. Okay, I have to get the number on the screen first. Where is that? Is it this one? It might be. Ah, there we go. Yay. Okay, so if you'd like to call on Skype right now and talk one-on-one with me, ask a question, whatever, share something, the number is 323-282-7779. Okay, so give me a call right now and we can chat about aquariums. I can answer your questions, or you can share whatever you'd like to share, being that it's age appropriate, of course. This isn't the Howard Stern show, so we can't be talking about sex and drugs and that kind of stuff. So let's try to keep it about aquariums and keep it clean. So we got some people in the chat room now. Matt M, the bro, the Calibreros TV, Christopher Aquatics, and Kyle Manners. Cool. Thanks, guys, for coming in the chat room. Appreciate it. So we got our first question. How do you feel about saltwater tanks? Well, saltwater tanks are beautiful, and there's so much variety to them. You can put so many different types, or there's so many different types of corals available, and fish as well. Much more fish, or the saltwater hobby has a bigger fish selection than the freshwater hobby. So that's one of the things I like about it. But as far as starting a saltwater tank, it seems easy watching the videos on YouTube, but I've heard that it's just a little bit more demanding, so planet tanks already seem demanding to me already. So I really couldn't imagine getting into a saltwater tank. It would just seem like, so much more work and maintenance and stuff. And not to mention, my priority right now is my 2 planet tanks, because that's pretty much how I make my living. So a saltwater system would just take up space, very usable space, and, space that I need. So, okay, we're getting our first call. Let's go ahead and take this. Hi, you're on with Jacob. What's your question?
How's it going? My name's David. How are you going, Jacob?
David, good. Yeah, nice to meet you.
All right. So I recently set up a cichlid tank of Lake Tanganyikans. They're shell-dwelling cichlids, and I was throwing in some water wisteria and some Java moss, and a bunch of hair algae just bloomed up out of nowhere. And I wanted to know if you knew if it was safe or not, if I could use algae and plant food with cichlids.
So you want to know if it's safe to continue using algae food even though you have algae growing in your tank?
Oh no, not algae food, but algae
Oh,
fix. Because I don't know how sensitive these fish are. Cause these are my first cichlids I've ever had, and I don't know how sensitive they are to plant food and algae fix.
oh, okay. So you're using are you talking about plant fertilizers for your plants?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
using the basic plant food that you would find at a PetSmart or Petco.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I really don't have a lot of experience keeping cichlids with plants, but I would imagine that they are similar to other, tropical fish that we normally keep in
Hmm.
planted tanks like tetras and stuff. But I would imagine that you would have to be careful as far as your water parameters, because I know cichlids are very sensitive to pH and a number of other things, water hardness and stuff, because where they come from
Yeah.
naturally, that lake in Africa is, or wherever it is, it's pretty, there's a lot of aspects to that water quality. So I would say just go ahead and try it, but just maybe do a low dose of the fertilizer. Don't really go all out, do a full dose of it. And see how your fish act, and if everything is okay, gradually increase the dose to, what you normally would dose on a regular basis.
All right. Thank you very much, Jacob.
Okay, you're welcome. Have a good day.
All right, you too.
Thanks. Our first call. Thank you so much for calling in. Appreciate that. So African cichlids and planted tanks, that's a hard one because most African cichlids would just tear plants apart. But I mean, I would imagine that you could keep, big, hardy plants with African cichlids. But yeah, that's something I never thought about was, how sensitive they would be to different things. I mean, especially like CO2. We know that tropical fish like tetras and stuff, like I just mentioned, that people normally keep in tanks will do fine with fertilizers, CO2 and stuff. But I've never done it with African cichlids. So yeah, that was a good question. I really think I got to do more research on that because I know there's going to be more questions like that coming about African cichlids with planted tanks, and I need to know that. I need to know that. So they don't tear up Anubias plants. Yes, that's absolutely correct. I would never imagine a cichlid could tear up an Anubias plant. They're just way too, strong and hardy and tough. They're big plants. So I think Anubias, Amazon swords, jungle val, bunch of different Amazon swords actually of the Echinodorus species. Those would be perfect for cichlid tanks. Of course, dwarf baby tears are out of the question. That just would not work with cichlids, period. I mean, it'd be nice. Wouldn't it be cool to have a carpet of dwarf baby tears and beautiful, colorful cichlids? I mean, that would just be awesome. But, I mean, that's like asking the world, right? I mean, cichlids just tear up everything. So, Keys planted tanks, but Anubias is a great thing to do with cichlids. Okay, yeah, I agree. Kyle Manners, are you still the lucky bamboo expert? For those of you that don't know, I used to make gardening videos about related to lucky bamboo. It's a plant, and also plumerias. That's a plant from Hawaii. So as you guys can see, I'm a pretty big plant nerd. Period. Whether they're being grown outside in pots or inside aquariums. And I made a bunch of instructional videos, and I was like the most popular person on YouTube making videos about lucky bamboo at the time. This is back in 2009. So a lot of people, come watch my show, and they always ask me, "Hey, you're the lucky bamboo guy," or It's just funny because I made those videos so long ago, and it's just like I've kind of forgotten about them. But Yeah, I am the lucky bamboo guy. I don't really make videos about that anymore. But I'm trying to actually make more videos on my gardening channel because I had a lot of fun doing that. I still grow a lot of plants outside on my balcony here at my apartment. So I'm going to try to do some more videos of that topic. So, Tornado play Minecraft. I know this is off topic, but are you going to upload another video of city skylines on the Tech Castro channel? Yes. Yes, I am working on another video for the Tech Castro. I've actually built a whole nother city in City Skylines, the game, you know, for people that don't know what I'm talking about. And it's a huge city. It has a population of 200,000. Everything is going well, you know, as far as as far as like all the utilities in the city. So yeah, I'll definitely be making another gaming video for my gaming channel, and I also got a video coming up on that channel as well, where I'm just giving a tour of my new PC build, so you guys can get an inside look at that for those of you that are interested. So that's gonna be fun. Lots of new stuff. Lots of new stuff. I'm busy, busy, busy. I'm pretty much making videos like every day now. It's crazy. Like ever since I got this new PC, I've just been able to increase my workflow like 150%. Like before, I could probably make one video a week because it would take hours for the video to render on my crappy laptop that I used to use. But now that I have this this PC, it's like I can render videos and get everything done in like so short of an amount of time. So I can increase my workflow and make more videos and entertain you guys more. So could you suggest good plants for cherry barbs? Cherry barbs. Cherry barbs. Have I kept cherry barbs before? Let me see. Let me look up cherry barbs really quick. Cherry barbs. Let's have another shrimp on the barbie. There they are, cherry barbs. Okay. Cherry barbs are easy to care for, peaceful. They are omnivores. Ooh, scary. They can eat plants. Pretty much all fish are. Cherry barbs. They seem like pretty easy fish. Are they part of the tetra family? Cherry barbs, I guess not. No. Okay. Cherry barbs. Yeah, they're small fish. They don't really seem like they could do much damage to plants. So I pretty much think you can put them with anything. They are really very colorful fish. I never even heard of those. Cherry barbs. Huh. Let's look at that again. I love the color. Wow. That is a beautiful fish. I can imagine just how awesome a school of them would look in a Planet Tank. Yeah. Yeah, I think they should go good with a number of different plants. So those are really beautiful fish. Wow. La 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 la. Let's see. Do you like cichlids? Do you think of setting up a cichlid tank? I had cichlids a long time ago. I think back in 2007. And I liked them, but they're just so violent. They're. I mean, I kind of like the peace and the serenity of a Planet Tank, and a school of neon tetras, but like cichlids are like so violent and they love to eat live foods, so like if you got to feed them feeder fish sometimes, or you can compensate with other stuff, of course, but I don't know, they just seem so violent, such violent fish. I really didn't like that aspect of them. I kind of just like, like I said, the peaceful look of a Planet Tank. But no, I don't think I'll set up a cichlid tank because I'm too busy and too interested more in my Planet Tanks. So 10 gallons, that's tiny. Yeah, it was a tiny tank, but the cichlids I had in there were really tiny cichlids to begin with. So, and I could only get a little bit too because cichlids are territorial, so I couldn't get like 5 cichlids for a 10-gallon tank. It just wouldn't make sense. They'd all be fighting with each other and having wars and stuff. So yeah. Just a reminder, guys, if you'd like to call in and ask a question or have anything to share about Planet Tanks, the number is right here, 323-282-7779. Give me a call right now. There are peaceful cichlids, Jacob. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I'll have to look into that. Cool. Is there any algae eaters that isn't wild caught and doesn't get lazy? I would say Siamese algae eaters really aren't lazy fish. They are pretty active. When I had them in my planet tank, they were constantly moving, eating all kinds of stuff, sucking on all the rocks and stuff, constantly eating. Um, so I think, if you're looking for algae eaters that aren't lazy or that are active, the Siamese algae eaters are good. They are hard to find though. Over here in California, it took me like, man, I had to go to like 5 different stores to find them until, this little tiny mom and pop shop finally had them. Um, but yeah, so Siamese algae eaters, those would be good. I'm a great fan. You should get more tanks. I'd love to have more tanks, but I live in an apartment and we have rules and restrictions on how many tanks I could have. I think I'm pretty much already at my max with these 2 tanks right now. I mean, combined, I have 130 gallons of water in this apartment. And I think, when I first moved here, I originally told my manager I was only going to have a 50-gallon tank. So I'm kind of, pushing it here. So I don't think I could get more, but I would love to, Hopefully this year we can find a house and move into a house instead so that I have more space. Because that's all that's keeping me back from buying more tanks. If we didn't live in an apartment, I would have, oh my God, I probably have like 10, 15 aquariums by now because I just have so many space. So what is your opinion on dyed fish? I hate it. I hate dyed fish. I think dyeing fish is the most cruel thing that you could do to an animal. I mean, besides what they do to dogs and cats and stuff. I mean, I just think it's so cruel to, it's so cruel to mess around with a fish like that because they're just doing it to make money. I mean, that's really what it's all about. It's not like it helps the fish. It's not like it improves the fish's quality of life. They're just doing it so that they can sell them to people that have no idea. They just look at the fish and go, "Oh, it's a colorful fish. Wow, it's beautiful. Let's buy it. Here's my money. Here's my money." I mean, that's all they do it for is just the money. They don't care about the overall well-being of the fish. So I think it's incredibly cruel. I think it shouldn't be done. I think people should stop doing it. Whenever I see them in aquarium stores or tropical fish stores, I kind of cringe, just like when I see betas in those little cups. It just frustrates me because these are fish. They're living, breathing creatures, and it's just like, for some reason, people have this ideology that a fish does not feel pain. A fish is like just a fish, but we don't know that. Fish most likely do feel pain. Fish most likely do hurt, and stuff. So I think it's just incredibly cruel to do to an animal, So I think it should be stopped. It should be outlawed, because it's just not necessary. And I mean, not to mention somebody actually mentioned it in the chat room right now. The natural color of a fish is the most beautiful color you could ever have for a tropical fish. I mean, altering it to make fish pink and purple and blue, it's more like a novelty, and it just takes away from the overall natural aspect of an aquarium. So, I mean, but besides all that, it's such a cruel thing to do to an animal, I mean, just like people, I mean, this is something else that's kind of similar that I really don't agree with. It's just like people that, have dogs and they put them into shows and they force them to perform tricks and they cut their hair and braid their hair and do all these things to the dog that maybe the dog doesn't want to do, like maybe the dog doesn't want its fur to be dyed pink, or maybe it doesn't want its fur to be trimmed or braided or, crunched up and mangled. And I mean, I just think people do too much to animals that maybe the animal doesn't want that to be done to them. I mean, I know if I was one of those dogs and I was forced by my owner to be in a show, and I'm a male dog and my hair's all put up in a little ponytail, I'm a male poodle, I would really hate that. I would I would be really pissed off. So it's the same thing, but yeah. So that's funny. Oh man, I love doing this show. You guys make me laugh so much. I love it. Oh man, Jacob, how did you get into the fish keeping hobby, Jacob? Well, oh my goodness. Let's travel back to 1995. 1995, I think. Um, my first encounter with aquariums was when I was about 3 or 4 years old, and if I can remember correctly, if I can do the math correctly, actually, that's 1994, 95, or 96, around there. you know. And my aunt that I lived with at the time, she had a 150 gallon or so aquarium that she kept three large tiger Oscars in. And I just remember as a kid, constantly just spending hours, playing with my toys on the carpet and just staring at the tank. I have these like really faded memories because it was so long ago. I mean, this is when I was like a baby. I have these really faded memories of just playing with my toys in front of this gigantic aquarium and watching the big fish. And there's actually this one time that my aunt was cleaning the tank. I guess you could say this is the most terrifying experience I've had with an aquarium. But there's this one time she was cleaning the tank and she put one of the tiger Oscars in a like a pot. She filled it with water because she was the kind of person that thought like, when you clean a tank, you take out everything. You change all the water, you take out all the gravel, which that's like the really old school, not right way to clean a tank. But that's how it was back then. And, that's how she thought it was. So that's what she used to do. And she took the Oscar out, put it in a pot, and I remember watching it. It was swimming in a circle. And I mean, I'm just a kid and I'm just like, oh, wow, big fish swimming in a circle. I'm just like mesmerized. And the freaking thing jumped out of the pot. Tiger Oscars, they can jump pretty high. It jumped out of the pot and like barely missed my face by inches and scared the living crap out of me. I remember crying as a kid for a long time. And my aunt just, held me and said, it's okay. The fishy is okay. I mean, that's what I remember, about my first encounter with aquariums. But she had that tank for a while, but then we moved to another apartment, and I think she got rid of it. So, and then after that, I mean, I had betta fishes, and I mean, my first real fish that I had, I won at a carnival. It was like a carnival 12-cent goldfish. That one that was the first fish that I ever owned. And then after that, yeah, it just led to a 5-gallon tank, a betta bowl, goldfish, 15-gallon tank, 30-gallon tank, 50-gallon tank, 60-gallon tank. I mean, I've had so many tanks throughout my whole life. I honestly can't remember them all. I think I actually think life, nowadays would just be so weird without an aquarium because I've had them for so long. Pretty much everywhere I lived, it's just like not changing water on a on a regular basis. My regular maintenance schedule would be weird. Not having a tank to just stare at whenever I want would be weird. It's just I just couldn't imagine it. Not having a tank now. So yeah, had tanks all my life, but the first encounter I had was when I was about 3 or 4. So yep. Do you like coolie loaches, and what's a good tank for them? I've never heard of those loaches before, so I can't really say. Camille Malowiski, hello from Poland. Hello from Poland. Awesome. Awesome. By the way, guys, just a reminder, if you'd like to call in, ask a question, or share something about aquariums, number is right there, 323-282-7779. Give me a call. Keith's Planet Aquariums, do you still like discus fish? Yeah, I love discus fish. They're just incredibly expensive. They're incredibly expensive. they're they're not that hard to keep in my opinion, but you can't really keep them in a tank in an area that gets a lot of traffic, which is weird for me because, if I buy discus fish, they're expensive, beautiful fish. I want to show them off, So like when people come over, they can see the tank, and stuff. But I can't have the tank in an active area, because the fish are really skittish and they tend to hide most of the time in a really active area. So, I like discus fish, but I just don't like that aspect of them. That they're so skittish that you need to keep them in like a secluded area, So, Evelyn, Dumia, please read the chat more. I am. I'm trying. Do you like arowanas? Yeah, I love arowanas. I actually wish that the Asian arowana wasn't illegal in the United States so that I could actually own one. Shit, man, if I could have an Asian arowana, I would. Oh my god, I would probably clear out my entire 80-gallon tank and pack all my plants into my 50-gallon just to have it. you know, um, I love the Asian arowana, but yeah, they're illegal here, unfortunately. So, but we can have the silver arowana here in the United States and the Jardini arowana, and I even think they have an Australian blue colored arowana that we can also have, but can't have the Asian arowana. So yeah, but yeah, I love them. They're really cool fish. Is the weather in California acceptable / good? It's good. I mean, it's always nice here. I mean, we rarely have gloomy days. Like right now, it's 79 degrees and sunny outside. I think I got to get another camera so I can switch to my view because I live on the third floor of my apartment building and I have this really nice view of the city. So I think it'd be cool to switch camera so I can show you guys. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the weather is really nice here. It's tropical, weather, I guess you could say. Well, not really tropical, but just peaceful. We don't get tornadoes, we don't get monsoons or tsunamis or anything. But we do have earthquakes, and earthquakes are freaking scary as hell. And I'm really paranoid because, if we have a big earthquake, like my tanks aren't really tied down, so I don't know what would happen to them if we had like a freaking 9.8 or something, like a big shaker. I could just imagine these tanks, like water going everywhere, and oh my god, scary. But hopefully that does not happen. Will you ever do a YouTube challenge, like maybe the language challenge, or like, I don't know, Chubby Bunny? I don't know about that. Those YouTube challenges are scary because, like, for example, the cinnamon challenge was pretty terrifying. I remember people trying that and like choking, and some people having to go to the hospital and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I could ever do a YouTube challenge. I'd be kind of scared, depending on what it is, I guess. If it's like something where I just have to try to pronounce something, or like the there was a challenge going around called the Super Note, where you'd have to like say something and like keep it going, as long as you can, and whoever can say it the longest, they would win. Like you just go like, oh, and as long as you can do that, the longest person, that did that would win. But I mean, I tried that, but I could only do like 22 seconds, but any other YouTube challenge, I'd probably be too scared to do. So. When was the last time you guys had an earthquake? I believe it was last year. Last year around November, I think we had a pretty good shaker. It was around, I think it was 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and we had some family over, and we were watching some home videos of my cousin's birth at the hospital, and I was sitting down in front of the TV, and yeah, things just started to move. But like, it was weird. it was funny because I had a few too many to drink that night, And I just thought it was me. Like I thought it was just me being drunk and like just moving, side to side. But it was actually the earth that was moving. So but yeah, it was a pretty good shaker. Some water in my 50-gallon did come out because I did have the 50-gallon. I had that in the living room at the time, not in my room where it is now. And it did shake pretty good, so that water did come out of it. But yeah, that was the last earthquake I had, or that we had. Yeah, I had an earthquake. Hopefully we don't get anytime soon though, because I don't want to imagine what would happen to both of these tanks that I have if we had a big one. They are saying though that there is a big one coming, so we should expect it, and I'm terrified because how big is big? Like, are we talking like a nine pointer? Because that's a pretty bad earthquake. So I'm kind of scared. What music do you like? I pretty much like everything. Oh, well, okay, no, I don't like everything. I don't like rap. I don't like any of that crap. I think it's just, ugh. I can't ever get into that kind of music, but I like pop, I like rock, I like heavy metal. There are some, believe it or not, there are some screamo songs I do like. Not a lot though, because there are very like some of those songs are pretty terrifying. My favorite bands are AFI, Bon Jovi. He's good. Journey, Elton John. I love Elton John. And also I love Celine Dion. I feel kind of ashamed to admit that for some reason. I love Elton John. Yeah, so yeah, those are a couple of my favorites. So, Jacob, have you seen the ADA's Lisboa, Portugal Nature Aquarium? Yeah, I actually watched the videos of that tank. It is a massive planet tank. The acrylic on that tank is I mean, it looked like it was at least 30 or 35 inches thick. I mean, that's crazy. That's a big aquarium. The thing is, though, when I watched the video and when I watched the final, well, I don't think it was the final video, but it was the video showing like the finished aquascape. I was kind of disappointed because, I mean, this is a tank being made by Takashi Amano, considered the master of the planet tank hobby, and I just thought that the way the tank was designed with just driftwood and rocks and some plants stuck on the foreground and the midground, not so much of the background. I thought it was kind of like underdone, like I thought he could really do more, like something more extravagant. I mean, being that this is such a large tank, there's so much room to do so many different things. I was kind of expecting something more extravagant than just driftwood and plants. I mean, I was expecting like something modeled after like something like a real life landscape or something. I mean, he's capable of doing a lot of really great stuff. I mean, he's Takashi Amano. So I just thought for the size of the tank it is and everything, I just thought that he could do a little more, do something more extravagant. But I mean, nonetheless, it is a really, really big tank. It's a great tank. I think it's going to really spread the word about planet tanks as well, because I mean, it's the biggest planet tank in the world currently. If I ever win the lottery, I'm going to have the biggest planet tank in the world, but I'm still waiting for that to happen. So, it looks like a good tank. I just think it could have been a little bit more extravagant, but maybe there was some backstory to that. Like maybe, since of the location, they couldn't get a lot of, plants in or rock or whatever. Who knows? But yeah, so I just thought it could have been a little bit better. So what are some beginner crypt species? For beginner, I'd probably recommend Crypt Wenditti Green. That'd probably be a good one to start with. Acrylic versus glass. I would go with Starfire glass anytime, or low iron glass. rather than acrylic. I hate acrylic. Okay, did I say I hate acrylic? I hate acrylic. I had an acrylic tank one time in my life, and all it took, okay, was one scratch to just set me over the edge. Those tanks scratch so easily. It's just so frustrating to own an acrylic tank. You have to be so careful every time you do maintenance, every time you wipe the glass, and then not to mention, it's like, even though there's not visible scratches on the surface, every time you scrub the glass, there are tiny little micro scratches that happen that gradually over time just cloud, the view into the tank, So I think just glass overall just makes sense. It's just so much better than acrylic. And I know that, the big thing with acrylic tanks is like, oh, they're super clear. They're like the clearest tanks in the world. But that's not really the case. I mean, if you get a tank made out of Starfire glass or low iron glass, it will be, clearly the same visibility as an acrylic tank. I mean, so there really is no benefit to go with an acrylic tank, because you can get the same thing with a glass tank. And I mean, acrylic tanks are so expensive. I mean, sometimes for like a small 10-gallon tank, you end up paying almost $100. They're just way overpriced. They're just way too hard to make. There's a lot of labor involved with it. So, I mean, that goes into the price. But yeah, I would prefer glass over acrylic any day. And I'd never see myself owning an acrylic tank for the rest of my life. They're not my style. Okay, we're getting a call. So let's see who's on the phone. Hi, you're on with Jacob. What's your question?
Hey, I'm calling you again. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. No problem.
Yeah, I was pondering other questions while watching this. But so I have a question about immersed versus submerged water wisteria, because I've had some problems getting it to be its submerged form.
Okay.
I was wondering if you could help me with that.
So this is Hygrophila wisteria, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you that, when I get wisteria from my distributor in Florida, it is almost all the time grown immersed. So I have to transition mine as well. And in my tank, I have really high light, I have CO2, I dose nutrients, and I almost all the time have no problem transitioning it to its submerged form. So that would be my biggest question is what are you using now in your aquarium to grow your plants?
All right. Well, I have low to medium light. I don't use CO2,
Okay.
and I've been dosing very small amounts of plant fertilizers.
Okay.
And I've tested it with floating the plants and drowning them completely, and they're kind of reacting kind of differently. But I really haven't seen them explode because I've put them also under a high light tank. And they haven't gone off like I've heard they have. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong or what.
Well, I mean, wisteria is pretty much our easy to grow plants, so it's kind of hard to say. But what I would recommend is if you can invest in a CO2 system, at least a disposable system, try because that would be something that would definitely help. I mean, CO2 is something that plants naturally consume in the wild, so any way that you can provide it to them is best. I mean, try even maybe the DIY method with using a sugar and yeast reactor. There's instructions on YouTube on how to make one. Anything you can do to get CO2 in the tank, try that first. Increase the amount of fertilizers that you use, because that could be another thing too. Wisteria is a fast-growing plant. It relies on a lot of nutrients, a lot of nutrient uptake, I should say, through its roots. So. That's another thing, a lot of nutrients. The low to medium light probably might be an issue as well. They are plants that like high light, but they do grow, in low light. So, I guess I really shouldn't say that. But yeah, that's pretty much what I can recommend is, if you can try to get CO2 in the tank, any way that you can, and try to increase the amount of nutrients that you have. Also, another question is, what kind of substrate are you using to grow these plants?
Okay, so I've had them in both Floramax or...
Floramax, okay.
Yeah, Floramax, and I also have it in silica sand, and I've been putting in root tabs. So
Okay.
it has fair enough. It's picking up stuff from the roots and from the actual leaves itself.
Okay, so Floramax, I'm looking at that right now, and that seems to be pretty good. It is made for planted tanks, and it has a bunch of good nutrients in it. Okay, so are you using that entirely, or are you using just silica sand? Because I heard you say both.
Yeah, I'm right now. A lot of my wisteria is in silica sand,
Oh,
and
okay.
that's what I have. But
Okay,
I've put the iron root tabs, and I've also done the DIY root tabs with the Osmocote.
okay, yeah. Here's the thing with the silica sand. You can make it work with root tabs, but almost 100% of the time you have to compensate by dosing CO2 because in my tanks I use silica sand as well, but I dose CO2 and a lot of nutrients, and that's the only way I'm able to get my plants to grow. If I didn't dose CO2, they wouldn't grow at all because the silica sand doesn't contain anything. Even if I did add
Mhm.
root tabs, it just simply would not be enough. So while the root tabs may help, they really won't do the job as good as planted tank substrate. So I'd recommend if you can, once again, try to get that CO2 up and running because that's what I use, and my plants grow very well in my silica sand. So um, try to get CO2. That's pretty much the first thing I'd recommend that you try.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Also, something else.
Sure.
As being in California as well, we're going through a pretty bad drought right now. So
Yeah.
how are you dealing with that with your 50 and 80 gallon aquarium?
Well, for me, I guess it's I'm not really affected by it because where I live, I live in Riverside, California, and we're about 65 miles from Los Angeles. And I mean, we really don't have a problem with water out here. We aren't required by the city or anything to not use water at certain times, or like we have no restrictions, in other words.
Hmm.
And here at my apartment complex, my water bill is actually included in my rent, so I don't pay more for water no matter how much I use. So I guess you could say I'm kind of lucky because I use RO water in my tanks, and my water sometimes has to run for 6 7 hours sometimes to be able to fill up my tanks, and that's a lot of water. That's gallons and
Yeah.
gallons of water. So but yeah, I mean, I haven't really been affected by it. We haven't heard anything from our city yet about any restrictions that we need to, have on our water usage. But I do know in cities like Santa Monica, um, LA, of course, they've been issued some really pretty harsh restrictions. More so, it's affecting people that like to do outdoor gardening because they've placed restrictions on when you can have like your sprinklers on, how much you can,
Hmm.
how much water you can use to water your plants. So that's kind of hard. I mean, I'm an outdoor gardener as well. But I mean, yeah, so thankfully I don't live in LA, I guess you could say. So yeah, not really being too much affected by it.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks. Have a good day. All right. So what we got some more questions. So let's see. What are your thoughts on zebra snails and Siamese algae eaters? Zebra snails. Well, I don't like snails, period. So, I don't know. Siamese algae eaters, I've had them before. They're great fish. They're just very active, very frantic. So, I mean, I don't really like them in a planted tank, because they're just so active. They kind of take away from that peaceful feel to an aquarium. But they do work really well for consuming algae and stuff. So, I mean, they are beneficial in a planted tank. Um, you have to be careful with housing them though with like Rotala walichi, really sensitive plants because they will just tear them apart. So, uh, so I like them, but they're not really for every aquarium. They really aren't compatible, or they don't look as good in every tank. So, Fish Forever. Hello, Jacob's Aquarium. Hello, Fish Forever. How are you? Will polka dot loaches eat shrimp? I would imagine if they can fit in their mouth. I mean, shrimp. I mean, pretty much a lot of fish can eat shrimp as long as they can fit in their mouth and they can peck at it enough. My neon tetras, believe it or not, I had. Oh my gosh, I had probably like 30 red crystal shrimp in my planet tank, and my neon tetras absolutely obliterated them. They were gone within a week, you know. So that was unfortunate. All right, getting another call. Oh, from an unknown number. Scary. Hi, you're on with Jacob. What's your question? Hello? Okay. All right. Well, you can go ahead and try again. Having some technical difficulties with your phone, I guess. Shout out to Mike Hawk. Okay, Buzz Light. Shout out to you, Mike Hawk. You should start a vlogging channel. Yeah, that would be cool. I'm actually going to a resort in San Diego this year for summer. It's actually one that we go to every year. And I really want to do a vlog of the whole vacation, the whole trip and everything. So maybe I'll start a vlogging channel as well. I mean, so that'll mean I'll have an aquarium channel. I'll have a aviation channel. I'll have a gardening channel. I'll have a bird channel. I'll have a gaming channel, and then I'll now have a vlogging channel. That's a lot of channels. But yeah, maybe I'll do a vlogging channel because I really want to make a video of the whole trip. So, do I have any other pets besides fish? Yeah, I have a parrot named Connor. He's a dusky conure. What are my favorite dwarf cichlids? The bumblebee cichlids are really cool and they're cute. I love bumblebee cichlids. There's a number of other ones. I just don't remember the names. I haven't had cichlids for a long time, guys, you know. So it's really hard to say. Oh, getting a call from the unknown number again. Let's see if they got their issues figured out. Hi, you're on with Jacob. What's your question? So here's a person that's probably watching the show that says, "Hey, we're gonna call the number 100 times and we're not gonna say anything." Look, this is gonna be fun. Come on, okay? Let's not do that. Let's refrain from doing that. How about that? Any tips on jungle val? Jungle val is a pretty easy to grow plant. Just give it a lot of light. I mean, I've noticed it does better in the high light tank. So yeah, try high light. That's pretty much the only tip I can give. I mean, as well as, you know, stick to the normal, you know, basic fundamentals that all plants require in a planted tank, of course, like fertilizer, you know, stuff like that. What do you think about betas? Betas are good fish. It's just I think they're kind of abused in the industry. You know, a lot of times when you go to pet stores, they have them in little cups, and I just think it's so cruel and so sad to see them like that. So I love betas, but I just think they're a fish that really don't belong in the mainstream aquarium hobby because they are, you know, kind of abused in the industry. I know there are a lot of people though that, you know, they keep beta fishes in, you know, good tanks, filter tanks and stuff, and that's great, you know, but I really wish all the you know, local fish stores would do that as well, but they don't. So what about Anonarchus growth? Anonarchus is a weed. That plant grows like crazy in pretty much any type of tank. What is your opinion on plecos? Plecos are nice fish. They're interesting fish as well. They just get really big. I mean, there are some that do stay small. So I guess, you know, you can get small fish. Like I think bristlenose plecos are good for planted tanks. I saw a video of this pleco a long time ago, but I haven't been able to find it. It's a zebra pleco, and that pleco looks beautiful. That one I would keep just for, you know, its color. It looks so cool. But yeah, plecos are interesting. They're interesting fish. So betas are fight fish, Jacob. Yes, they are. They do fight, but you shouldn't let them fight. You shouldn't house them together. My first fish was a purple beta. My sister killed it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What kind of fish would be compatible with betas? Well, you know, beta fish I mean, there's a big misconception in that betta fish can't be housed with any other fish, because they are considered fighting fish. But the thing is that betta fish can be housed with other tropical fish, and they will do just fine. They can be housed with, oh my gosh, a lot of different tropical fish. Of course, nothing that's obviously bigger than the betta. Anything that's bigger that can eat it. Nothing too aggressive. Because bettas are normally peaceful fish when they're not housed with another betta. Of course. But yeah, I mean, neon tetras, guppies, um, rainbow fish, tons of different tropical fish. I think they'll do fine. Your local fish shop sells zebra plecos for $400. Oh my god, that's expensive. That is so expensive. I don't know about that one. That is a lot of money for a fish, and hopefully it doesn't die. Hopefully it doesn't die and you lose $400. That's a big risk. I don't know about that. So, um, I mean, I'd love to buy one, but if I did buy one, I'd have to have it by itself in a tank that just has everything perfect, water parameters, filtration, everything, because I would not want to take the risk of just throwing it in a regular aquarium. But I mean, 400 really or 500 really isn't that bad. I mean, it's a really rare fish, so I mean, it's not really that expensive for a rare fish. I mean, there are, other fish like Asian arowanas that go for upwards of like $10,000, and some show quality goldfish that go for like $1,000 to $3,000. So, I mean, it's not really considered that expensive for a rare fish, but I mean, I'd probably buy one. It's just like I said, I really want to keep it in a tank by itself because it would just be too risky to keep it in a community tank. So, So the tiger pleco or gold nugget pleco on Google, they are so nice. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, the gold nugget plecos are really pretty. I love those. The coloration is awesome. What is your schedule for your live streams? Okay. Here's the thing, and actually, I'm glad you said that, Bobby11971. I have actually come up with a schedule for the live shows. I really think that I can do them on Saturday. So we'll shoot for Saturday starting at noon, so 12 o'clock, and that's Pacific time, so California time. So I'm pretty sure that I'm going to do it every Saturday at noon. 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Okay, so that's, I'm pretty sure that's going to be the schedule. I will announce the schedule to the live show officially in another video that I'm going to upload on this channel. So just make sure you stay subscribed, and you should get the alert for that video so for sure what the schedule is. But that's what I'm shooting for right now is Saturday 12 p.m. Pacific. So. In the UK time? Ooh, I don't know. Well, I mean, right now it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So whatever time it is in your time right now, just do the math, and that's how you know how many hours you're ahead or behind, and you can tell. So, where can I get fish besides the local fish store and online? Try different hobbyists. There are a lot of people that sell fish out of their home. A lot of home breeders, home breeders. sorry, that just made me laugh. There are a lot of people that breed fish out of their homes. So try Craigslist. Try sites like Aquabid and stuff. I mean, there's lots of different places. So it's 11 p.m. where you are. Okay, so 11 p.m. What? 11 p.m. Is that at night or during the day? Okay, that's a tough one. I don't know. 11 p.m. Oh my God, I feel like a blonde right now. I can't figure this out. 11 p.m. That's nighttime, right? That's night. That's okay. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into that one. I feel so stupid right now. It's probably like an easy thing to figure out, and I'm just like having a brain fart where I can't figure it out. Um, have I ever kept big cichlids? Yeah. I've kept tiger oysters before. I had one that actually grew to, oh my God, I think that fish was at least 8 or 9 inches. It was a big fish, you know. Um, I kept tiger Oscars. It's 8 hours, dude. Oh, okay, or 7 hours. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like an idiot now. It's like, what time is it? It's 12. I totally feel like Paris Hilton, like a blonde right now. Oh my goodness. Could you do a video on 5 easy to grow plants for Planet Tank? Sure, sure. I'll see what I can do. What are some fish hard to breed but found commonly in pet stores? Where do they come from? Um, Guppy fish are very common and mostly all pet stores, and those are very, very easy to breed. Those fish are like the mice of the fish world. They breed like crazy. Guppies, I mean, all kinds, you know. So, all right, let's see who's on the phone now. We're getting another call. Hi, you're on with, hi, you're on with Jacob. What's your question? I knew that was coming. Okay. So, have you tried breeding autos? No, I haven't, but I do have autos in my tank right now. Actually, you know what? One time I did find a lot of. I found eggs in one of my moss plants. I believe it was Java moss or willow moss. I found eggs in one of those moss plants. I wasn't sure if it was from the tetras or from the autos though. So, what the fuck was that? Yeah, that was somebody trying to call in and obviously mess around with my live show, which, like I said, I was expecting that. There's a lot of people that like to mess with you on YouTube. You know, they like to leave you hate comments, dislike your videos. Live shows are probably the worst because they can call in and just do whatever, you know, use all kinds of different numbers, block their numbers, you know, so. I expected it, you know. I expected it. It's not a surprise. Hi, Jacob. How did you deal with algae in your planet tank when you kept discus? Did you experience any algae problems? Yeah, I mean, I think that was the only tank, or not the only tank, but that was the last time I can remember that I had a big algae problem was when I had my 50-gallon setup in back in 2010 or 2009, around there. But I mean, ever since then, I haven't had any algae issues. I've just, really stayed consistent on a bunch of my methods to controlling algae, and so far they seem to be working. So, but when I had algae in my 50-gallon tall back in 2010 or 2009, around there, I used a UV sterilizer to clear up the water. I just stocked the tank full of plants. Like I'm sure you can remember from watching my past videos that I had a huge wall of Liquidia in the background. You know, Liquidia repens, and it grew a lot. It consumed a lot of nutrients, so that helped. That helped outcompete the algae for nutrients, and that in turn made it die and get rid of it. So. That's what I did. I used a UV sterilizer and just stocked the tank full of plants, and that seemed to get rid of the algae. Of course, there are other things you can do now. There's different liquids and medications and stuff that you can add. There's actually one that works very well, but I'm not going to talk about because I have a bad relationship with the company, so I don't really feel like promoting their product for them and giving them any publicity on my live show or on my channel period. But there are a lot of products, so if you just search the internet, you'll be able to find it. So by the way, guys, anybody that places an order for plants or subscribes to the YouTube channel while we're doing the live show will get a shout out. So I believe we have some shout outs to give now. Tristan Vickery, thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Blaze the Gam. What? Blaze the Gam 3R. Okay. Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Dan for cool. Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Karma Cream. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And that is it. We got a bunch of comments on videos. I got to catch up on my emails. La, 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 la. Yeah, so thank you guys for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the channel. Means a lot to me. Means a lot to me. A lot. Oh, geez, we got... Why does the iPhone do this? Every time I open emails, it finds like more of them. Oh, we got more. Oh, no, those are the same ones. Oh, stupid iPhone. Why do you do this to me? Okay. All right. La 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 la. Do you still collect Lucky Bamboo? Those were great videos. Yes, I do. I have 2 really big big stalks of it. They're like 9 feet tall. So. Jonathan Hasselback, I unsubbed and resubbed the Thug Life. That's funny. Yep. Scamming the system, huh? Oh, you're funny. Oh, man. Oh, shit. What is your day-to-day schedule with aquariums? Daily, it's pretty much just taking care of the plants, like inspecting, pruning, I mean, all kinds of stuff. I like to really stay on top of the plants in my tank, my holding tanks, because, plants can die and, start to melt, all kinds of stuff. And you'll never see it in my tank because I have so many plants in there. Right now there's probably like 150 to 160 plants in there. So I really like to just take batches of them out every now and then and inspect them to see how they're growing, see how the root systems are developing, to ensure that they're staying healthy. That's really my day-to-day schedule. On Fridays, I do my water changes. On Mondays, I add all my fertilizers. And all throughout the week, I'm topping off my tanks with RO water, because they do... water does evaporate quite quickly in my aquariums, and I think it's just because I live in a very dry area, dry climate. So that's really my day-to-day schedule. But yeah, it's constant, because in order to stay on top of everything and make sure the plants are staying healthy, you have to literally just take them out and inspect them all the time. So and that's a lot of work. It's messy too. Water's everywhere all the time. So, what is my favorite type of goldfish? My favorite goldfish is a calico ranchu. I love calico ranchus. They're so cute. So cute. Sebastian Mooney, what's your favorite type of goldfish? Oh, I just answered that. What is wrong with me? I'm reading the same thing over and over again. Okay. Jacob, what is your largest store in the USA? The largest store. I don't know. I'm not sure. I know we have some pretty big stores over here, like big aquarium stores. There's some really big ones in Florida. But in California, I just don't know. We have a lot of little mom and pop stores, so we don't really have like big giant warehouse stores, except for PetSmart and Petco, of course. But I don't shop there. They're way overpriced. The fish suck there. The quality of the fish is horrendous, and I just absolutely hate the way that they keep them in their tanks. So PetSmart, Petco, blah, out of the question. So Walmart sucks too. Oh my God. I actually heard something kind of crazy recently. I don't know if I should talk about this, but somebody told me that a Walmart location somewhere. I got this random email from somebody, by the way. This isn't anybody that I can say like, oh, this person told me this. It was just a random email somebody sent me. But I got this random email to jacobsaquarium@gmail.com, my email that I use for everything. And the person was telling me that it was an unnamed email, and they were telling me that I guess a Walmart location in Texas, I believe it was Texas, they removed their entire fish section because somebody watched my video titled Walmart Kills Their Fish, and talked to the manager, and I guess the manager was so overwhelmed by the video that that he decided to take out the fish section. I don't know if that's true or not, because of course I can't go to Texas and see that, you know. Um, and I don't know what location this was, but somebody told me that, and I'm not sure if it's true or not. But if it is, I feel pretty bad because, I mean, I know some Walmart stores, they generally do take care of their fish because, you know, the employee in charge of the fish section is a, you know, fish hobbyist himself, and they tend to do a better job than, you know, a regular employee would. But I mean, to be honest, a majority of locations, the tanks are very poorly maintained at these Walmarts, unfortunately. So, but yeah, that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but if it is, that's crazy because this is Walmart. You know, this is a big company. You know, so I mean, I hope it's not true because I wouldn't want to, you know, be responsible for something like that happening. But I mean, I was just, you know, making a video with my little cousin and talking about Walmart fish. So I really wasn't trying to do anything like that. If it's around the Netherlands or Oman or Houston, I can check it out. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not sure. It could be Houston, Texas, Tejas, as my fellow Mexicans say it. Tejas. That's how they pronounce it. Tejas. I found a Walmart section on Craigslist. Oh my God. Wow. That's pretty bad. Will you ever look back on your first video you ever created? Yeah, maybe someday. Have you reduced the amount of water changes due to the drought in California? Nope. I am not affected by the drought at all. I still use RO water, and I use a lot of water every week. So no, I'm not affected at all. What's the best thing about having a YouTube channel? Nothing. You know, having a YouTube channel it's pretty interesting, okay? You meet a lot of different people. You get to talk to so many different people from all over the world. You get to hear stories from all kinds of people about, you know, things going on with their tanks and stuff. You know, because they ask you questions all the time and they tell you about things that they're doing. And that's cool, you know, because you get to connect with other hobbyists, and a lot of them, you know, there are a lot of positive things to having a YouTube channel, and just being able to connect with the community, I think is the biggest benefit, you know. But there are a lot of negative things that come along with it. You know, there are a lot of people that are so critical of your work. You know, there's so many people that will just dislike your video to dislike it. So many people that leave hate comments that, you know, try to bring you down. And, you know, being that I'm not only a YouTuber, I'm an online retailer. There's a lot of competition out there, and a lot of people are, you know, try to bring me down all the time, you know, any way that they can. So it's fun, you know, there's a lot of, you know, really positive things that come out of it, but I think the negative aspects totally overwhelm the positive because, you know, when something bad happens, like when I receive a bad comment, I mean, generally I just pass it off. But I mean, if it's really, really bad, like somebody like Psycho sent me something that, you know, has some really harsh words in it, I mean, it does kind of affect me for a couple days, you know. And most of all, when people, this is the dumbest thing that I ever think could ever be done, you know, but there have been some people that have made reviews about receiving plants from me that I guess some of the plants died, and they did an unboxing they filmed the dead plants and everything, and then they uploaded it, you know. And it's like they used the video as a way to say like, oh, see, look, I got dead plants from Jacob, you know, so nobody should buy plants from him. But the thing is, it's like dead plants sometimes happen, you know. That's something that sometimes you just can't avoid. I mean, it could happen because when the plants were shipped, they were in too high heat of an environment, you know. Um, a lot of different things. And sometimes plants die because they were left on the person's porch by the post office for, you know, hours while they were at work, you know, in the cold or, you know. Um, and I think it's stupid because it's like before making the video, they never considered that maybe they should try to contact me first to see what I could actually do for them, you know, to see what I would offer them. Now, of course, if they contacted me and I completely refused a refund, I completely refused to replace their plants, you know, even though they legitimately arrived dead, they have every right to make a video about that, you know, and tell people that Jacob's customer service sucks, you know. But some of these people have done this and they haven't even given me a chance, you know. So I don't understand why some people feel the need to do that, but the thing is that most of the time the people that do that are doing it just so that they can hate on me, you know. So that's another thing that just comes with, you know, being online and having a big audience, you know. So I just think that it's fun having a YouTube channel. It's great. But there's a lot of negative things that come with it. And sometimes those negative things are just so harsh, you know, and so, I don't know if dismotivating is a word, you know, but it's so, you know, not motivating. You know, it just doesn't give me the want, you know, the strive to carry on, you know, with YouTube. So I really hope that, you know, that stops, you know. I mean, I know it'll never stop. There will always be haters and people that, you know, try to bring me down, but I just hope that, like, you know, it just kind of it kind of diminishes at least. I mean, because it's something that just really gets to me and brings me down. So I don't know, you know, I just hope, you know, things change. I really think YouTube though should remove the dislike button because I really don't think the dislike button serves any purpose besides giving, you know, people a way to just hate or troll on your videos, you know. And that's one thing that really pisses me off because, like, when I upload a video, you know, and I spend hours making it, hours editing it, you know, filming it, all this stuff, you know, and I mean, not to mention I've invested thousands of dollars into cameras, lights, and my computer to edit the video. When I've done all this stuff, you know, to edit my videos and somebody dislikes it just to dislike it, you know, it really gets me because I've done all this hard work, you know, and it's like for nothing sometimes. But I really think they should remove the dislike button, you know, because that kind of gets to me. So I mean, if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, just consider all that, you know. I mean, of course, if you don't really have a big audience, if you're gonna have a few hundred subscribers, you know, you're gonna really not gonna, you know, have any issues. I mean, there really aren't gonna be people that are gonna take the time to mess with you when you really don't have a large following like that. But I mean, I noticed as soon as I passed, you know, I think it was 5,000 subscribers, that's when I really started to get a lot of haters, a lot of hate comments, a lot of people trying to bring me down, you know. So it's only when I gained an audience, you know, is when things started to happen. So, and that's, I mean, I think it's also because people just get jealous, you know. There are a lot of people that want to make it on YouTube. There are a lot of people that want to be a YouTube partner. They want to make money, you know, on YouTube. And when they see somebody else that's successful, you know, doing their thing and everything, it, for some reason, it just pisses them off. I mean, for me, if I saw somebody, you know, that was successful and doing good things on YouTube and making a living from it, I would be happy for them. I mean, just like I am for people, just like I am for people, you know, like Shay Carl and Smosh, CTFXC, just like people like that that have gained a large audience and make thousands of dollars a month, from their videos. I think that's cool, and I'm happy for them. But some people just don't think that way, and instead they like to hate on you for it. So yeah, if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, um, just consider all that. And I mean, if that's not something you want to put up with, I mean, I would say just don't try it. Period. I mean, if I could somehow prevent all that, I would say awesome. This is great. I love doing YouTube, but it's just I guess it's just something you have to deal with. But like I said, there are a lot of positive things that come with a YouTube channel, and I really enjoy talking to you guys and seeing your comments and stuff, and all your positive comments. That really brings me up. So yeah, I try to focus on that more than anything else. So yeah, that was a lot to say. Nick's Exotics got to go. Bye. Okay, Nick, have a great day. When is your next sales on plants? I really don't have sales because my plants are already priced pretty low. I mean, if I went any lower, I don't think I'd make any money. I would pretty much just not be a business. So I don't really have sales. What is going on? I don't understand that. Everybody has to be fucking right nowadays. Yeah. Yeah, that is, people are pretty critical. I agree. I agree. Pretty sad to think that's how the world has gone. Keep it up, bud. You're one of the few lads I know that regularly live streams like this. Keep it up. Thank you, Lewis. Appreciate that. Why are people commenting weird stuff? I don't know. Christmas sales? Yeah, maybe I'll do a Christmas sale, Maybe I'll do a sale like a package of plants that, something like that. What is the best way to do CO2 for my 125 gallon? Well, for a tank of that size, I mean, the best way to inject CO2 would be a CO2 injection system. I mean, it is kind of pricey. I mean, I'm just saying because for a tank of that size, it's like a DIY, CO2 reactor would not be enough, So try investing in a regular CO2 injection system. They do have other things, like you can use liquid CO2. You can use I think CChem Excel, is a form of liquid CO2. They sell CO2 tablets. There's all kinds of stuff. So, but what I would recommend, if you can afford it, would be a regular CO2 injection system. So. Do you know anyone in the shrimp breeding business in Oahu? No, I don't. I don't know. I do know. I have heard about a place though that I really want to visit. It's like at the top, top of my list of locations I want to visit if I ever go to Hawaii, and that is actually, I'm not sure if it's on the Big Island or Honolulu or whatever, but it's in that vicinity. I really want to visit this place. It's called Kodama Koi Farm. It's a koi farm that they actually get koi from Japan, like the source of koi. And some of these koi fish are like show quality, and they're huge too, that'd be a place I'd really want to visit, because I mean, I love koi fish. But besides Planet Tanks, koi fish are like one of my favorite fish. So that'd be a place I want to go if I did go to Hawaii. But yeah, no, I don't know anything about the shrimp breeding business over there. So no. Have I ever made DIY fruits? No, never have. Oh, koi farm sounds nice. They have a deep spiritual value in my culture. Oh yeah, yeah they do. Yeah, koi fish actually were bred way back as food fish. Like they're part of the carp family, so they were originally bred to for people to eat, survive on. Um, but I think the story goes that as farmers started to breed different species with different colors, gradually the colors got brighter, more vivid, and they ended up breeding them as ornamental fish, for their color. Um, so yeah, they have a really pretty interesting history. But yeah, koi fish are one of my favorite fish as well. So next to the Asian arowana, koi fish would be my next favorite fish. So what's that white thing in the background? Are you talking about? Are you talking about this? Are you talking about that? My air purifier? That's my air purifier. That's purifying the air in my room. It filters all the air through a HEPA filter so that there's no dust or anything. Because I'm kind of sensitive, with my allergies and stuff to dust and pollen and everything. So I have an air purifier, so my room is really clean. Man, how long have we been live? I feel like we've been live for a long time. Let me refresh the page. Have we been live for an hour yet? Oh yeah, we have. Okay. All right, guys. It is time for me to end the show. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will be back, like I said. The schedule most likely is going to be Saturday at noon, starting at noon. And I'm going to try to do an hour and a half, and in the future, I'd like to move up to doing like a 3-hour show, so we'll see, but you can probably just expect an hour, long show. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. And stay tuned because, like I said, we'll be doing more live shows in the future. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next time.